Hey guys, the American Psychedelic back with a video called Meeting the Tank. After reading many glowing reports, I decided to try mixing MDMA with PQBNS in the warm and earthy environment surrounding a close friend's apartment. The outline was planned as a typical back-to-nature forest trek that usually brings me home and enters me as an individual into a large metropolitan area. Unfortunately, my rustic foray took a decidedly inopportune turn for the worse. I went into the experience as calm and prepared as possible. I had packed water, snacks, flashlights, and other supplies in a light backpack suited for hiking. Inside one of the inner pockets was nestled 2 tablets of what I was sold as MDMA, 3 grams of mushrooms, and 20 milligram prescription dose of Adderall. Prior to saying farewell to my friend and promising to return in 4 or 5 hours, I had taken a long bath, dressed warmly, and finished my preparation ritual with 20 minutes of meditation. Right before leaving, I snorted 40 milligrams of Adderall for extra energy, hoping to find the right balance between the lethargy of the mushrooms and the joyful buoyancy of the MDMA. Full of vigor and ready for the eye-opening natural wonder, I skipped out of the apartment into the adjoining woods at 5 in the evening. Earlier, I decided to take the mushrooms first, deal with any nausea, and then eat the 2 MDMA tablets. I had hoped that the light lunch I had eaten beforehand would cut down on any stomach pains, as I am unfortunately prone to cramps and vomiting after ingesting mushrooms. I ate the 3 grams of mushrooms at around 5:30, washed them down with water, and decided to wait out any possible problems in my secluded glen I have found close to where the forest began. After waiting 30 minutes, I felt safe enough to ingest the 2 tablets, noting a funny taste as I chewed and swallowed. Ascribing it to the shroom residue for a lark, I threw in the remaining Adderall, reminding myself that I wanted to stay awake and write down my experiences after the trip. Within an hour, I realized I had not taken 2 tablets of MDMA. It was nearly 7 o'clock and the mushrooms were fading at the edge of the world a little, but from the synthetic tryptamine corner, not a peep. I tend to metabolize MDMA really quick, and so I wonder what else I might have foolishly ingested on blind faith from a dealer I knew, and I thought I could trust. MDA, with its slower onset, was my first guess, and I felt no particular need to turn back and find a setter. I'm normally very confident with my own ability to handle a trip. By 8 o'clock, the sun had set and realized that I had not ingested MDA or a deprivative. The bloomers were going strong, and Adderall was adding a harsh paranomic twinge to the forest. And on top of these 2 dark buzzes was a third that seemed to both intensify the psychedelic apprehensions and space everything out. No feelings of openness or natural bliss. Trippy, alien, forest state, lying dangerously and restless in his own shadow. Things got weird. I had found a small creek in the forest. Found, being relatively considered how hopeless and dismayed lost I became. I sat on the creek bed and stared at the huge sea turtle swimming against the current. The hallucinations with open eye and captivating. At this point, I lost much of my conception of linear time. I could have been staring into the creek for seconds or minutes. Movement was slow and choppy, less flow than normal mushroom intoxication. Concentration could be both intriguingly lacking and painfully overdrawn. The anhetamine was pretty well snuffed by the other chemicals in my system at this point, except for the effects on my heart. All throughout the trip, my heart was beating like a turbine. While there were many strange and discoherent themes during the trip, the most interesting for me was the bewildering conversation with people that weren't there and the overwhelming feeling of a conflict between good and evil. I would begin feeling as if the woods were a dark haven of evil and that I was a sort of white knight who had been sent to destroy the powers that had infested nature. People I knew would peer in order to offer advice or just talk about the nature of good and evil. I would continue talking to them for minutes before realizing that they could not, would not, and should not be in the force with me, and that they would disappear only to be replaced by another phantasm. The last of these apparitions, what I can only describe as some kind of tank Armageddon image that seemed to manifest of the evil around me. I finally realized at this point that I was losing control and sat down to breathe and meditate until the visions passed with relief. By this time it was around midnight, and the shrooms had lost most of their kick. I was mentally fatigued, but somehow able to summon up enough rationale to find my way back to the apartment by 1 in the morning. I looked a wreck when I stumbled upon into the foyer of my friend's loft, and he was able to take my picture before I stumbled into the bedroom to rest. My eyes were ridiculously dilated, and my hair was covered in leaves and dirt from when I decided to go look at the turtle in the creek by submerging my head and peering around. After another 2 hours or so of tossing, turning, and talking to very vivid hallucinations, the DXM wore off enough to allow me to rest peacefully. About 2 days later, Dan's Cafe had posted the 2 tabs I had bought and informed me that what I really taken was DXM. The experience was I would not have cared to have again, but did reinforce to me that the benefits of sitters and meditation. DXM and shrooms is a dissociative whirlpool, very spacey and threatening, interesting as all hell, but make sure you ground yourself in the right setting.